Welcome to our on-demand and online free Teamcenter training. Now you can learn Teamcenter anywhere, anytime and at your own convenience. Now we are into our fifth session covering Teamcenter items and item revisions. I am Naresh Y and I will be your host and guide as we take a look into the Teamcenter items. So let's get started. In this session, we are going to explore the following topics under Teamcenter items. And now we will start with few basic concepts of Teamcenter, item and item revisions, and then start working on creating item and item revisions, and then we will reuse this existing data to create new items and item revisions, and then focus on data management inside Teamcenter. By the time we complete this session, you will get clear understanding about Teamcenter items, item revisions, which are the building blocks in creating product structure, and also you will get an overview about the data management of Teamcenter and especially item. By now, we all know Teamcenter is a data management and lifecycle management solution. So Teamcenter is used to create and manage data. Teamcenter data can be anything like a CAD model, a drawing, specification documents, analysis reports, and so on and so forth. Usually this data is indexed and stored in Teamcenter very efficiently so that it will be easy to store and also to retrieve data when needed. In Teamcenter, we organize this data in much more organized manner using Teamcenter objects like items, item revisions, datasets, and forms. This is one typical structure of how Teamcenter data is created and managed inside Teamcenter. The fundamental object in Teamcenter is an item. Let's understand the concepts of item. Item is linked with other data objects like revisions, datasets, and forms. Item collects data which is applicable to all associated item revisions available within that particular item. Each item has an item master form which is used to extend the definition of item by creating more properties, and every item is associated with at least one item revision which collects data applicable to that specific revision. Then to extend the definition of item revision, we have something called as item revision master form. So in general, if we create item, apart from item, the system automatically creates item master form, item revision, and item revision master form. So this is how a typical item looks like in Teamcenter. Item in Teamcenter is a very generic term. It can represent a part, an assembly, a document, or a specification or anything. It's totally dependent on the usage in the business processes and solution architect's view. Out of the box, Teamcenter has many item types. For example, you can see on the screen, it can be just a normal item, or a document, or a drawing, or a company, or email. Even an Excel template can be an item. Apart from this, customers can always customize and configure the Teamcenter system and add more custom item types to meet customer business processes. Let's start working with our first item. To create an item, we need to know the first thing is item ID, which is unique number in Teamcenter database. Then revision, which is, we call it as item rev, which can be 0, 1, 2, and so on and so forth, or A, B, C, and so on. It's not mandatory it should be zeros or alphabets. It can be a combination of numbers and alphabets also. And then comes the important part is name, and there is something called description which is optional. Once we have the above information, we can start creating items inside Teamcenter. Let's start creating data in Teamcenter. We'll start with creating our first item with revision A. As we know that when we create an item, the system will automatically create item master form, item revision, and also item revision master form. Let's start our Teamcenter session. Hope you all remember how to log in into Teamcenter and open My Teamcenter application. In My Teamcenter, you can select the home folder. This is what I was doing right now. Then do File, New, and Item. This opens the New Item dialog box. Now here we can see there are a lot of item types available for us to choose. But as this is our first session, let's start working with an item. Click the next. Here if you see, this is the ID, revision, and name. ID is always a unique number, revision is a unique letter or a number or a combination of a alphanumeric, and name is something which we give a name to a item. Description field is optional. We can manually fill these IDs, or we can even use assign button to auto generate the ID and revision, and then we will give the name as first item. Here you can click next and fill in the form details and other things, but today we'll just go ahead and click the finish button to create a new item. Just close this session, and here you see there is a first item created. As I said, with the first item we see item master form, item revision, and item revision master form already created. So let's have a quick review about the data which is created with the item. Select the first item and review the details in a summary view. Here you can see the owner, when it got last modified, and also the item type, and also more information about the description, checked in, checked out, and other things. Let's select item master form and review the summary details. Then we will select item revision, and you see like all the details are getting modified when we change our selected objects. So this is how the data is created, and this is how we can review the data created. If we select the first item and go to details tab, it displays the children parts of first item. Let's go to the viewer and let's select the item master form. This is a read-only form. If at all you wanted to modify this form, let's do a checkout and edit. Here you can give the project ID, serial number, and few comments, and then you can save and also check in this particular form. Similarly, we can modify item revision master form. Let's give the revision A here so that we can easily track it. This is how we can modify or edit our item revision master form properties. Let's shift our focus to item revisions. As we have seen, the first or initial item revision is automatically created, and as per needs, users can create more revisions. To create new revision, we usually use File, Revise option. And during revising, almost all details are pre-populated like item ID, rev, name, but revision and name can be changed if needed. The associated forms and datasets can be copied, can be referenced or not copied as per the deep copy rules which we have already created or out of the box provided. Don't worry much about the deep copy rules right now because this we will cover in our advanced BMIDE training session. Now let's create a new revision for this first item. To select this item revision and do File, Revise. Just select this. In this Revise dialog box, you see the new revision ID and rev B and the name, everything is pre-populated. If at all we wanted to modify our description, it's optional for us to modify the description. And once you click finish, a new revision is created. Just close it. A new revision with revision B is created. Let's go to the item revision master form. You see that this form is copied from revision A. So automatically you see the same results available for this new item master revision form. Let's edit this. Let's give it as B. And check in back. So now this form has got all the details with B, and our previous form with revision A has got all the details with A. Sequence. Sequence is a concept inside Teamcenter which tracks iterations made to an object. Whenever user checks out an object and modifies and checks in back, a new sequence ID is created. And the latest sequence ID is by default active object inside Teamcenter, which we can use for any further changes. Sequence is similar to versions of a dataset. We will also understand what is versions in our next session. Let's explore a bit on sequence. As you see here, this number 1 is the first sequence of this particular item revision. So whenever you modify and save the details back here, this sequence number gets modified. So let's edit properties. So we check out and we try to modify some properties. And then we save and check in. Now you see that the sequence is modified to 2. From 1 it modified to 2 because we have modified a particular property within that particular revision. So this is how the sequencing works, and every time the latest sequence is displayed as our default on our screen. Relations. Relations are used to create associations between Teamcenter objects, like item and item revision are related, item and item master form are related. Similarly, when we create any item, we saw item revision and associated forms are also created. All these data objects are linked using relations. Some relations are automatically created based on the out-of-the-box data model. As an admin, we can even modify data model to change the relations created by default. Or as a user, during copy and paste, even user can define a new relation between two Teamcenter objects. We will explore a bit on relations. As we said, every object in Teamcenter is related with other objects. Like in this case, this first item object is related with this item master form and another two revisions. So to check what relationships are used, let's go to the details tab. In this details tab, if you see here, there is a section called relation. And as these two are revisions, these are connected with relations. As this is a form, it is related to item master. So as you can see in this drop down, we have lot of other relations which we can use. This is how the relationships are managed in Teamcenter. Whenever we want to create new items from existing items or item revisions, we use an option called Save As. Save As from item or Save As from item revision. When we use Save As from item, most objects are copied as references except item revision and bomb view. When we create Save As from item revision, we get an option to select to whether it should be a reference or it should be a new objects or not to copy. So let's explore how to reuse the existing data of Teamcenter and create new data, that is the new items. So we will see like how we can reuse this first item revision B and create a new item. For this, select this particular revision and then do File, Save As. So once you do this, again like you'll get the Save As dialog box wherein you have to fill in the item ID, revision and name. Name is already pre-populated. We'll again use Assign, and to get a better quality, we will give it as a modified name as Save As, and then we'll click Finish. And once you close this, now the big question is, where is our new item which is created right now? We'll go to our new stuff folder, and this is where you will see the first item Save As, which is based on this particular revision. So one of the best way to check this is, let's go to the Viewer tab, and as you know, like we have already modified few of the properties in item revision master form. If you go back to the new item which is created based on this particular revision, we'll see the same details. This is how we can easily relate that this particular item, the first item Save As, is created using the first item revision B. Let's end this session with a quick overview about the Teamcenter data management. Whenever you create an item, for example pen cap, you also create a pen cap revision A, and over the period of time, design engineers will add forms to add more properties, datasets, like it can be a UG master data or a UG part or a text or a JT file, and so on and so forth. All these physical files are stored in Teamcenter vaults. So the data is spread in database and physical vaults. These files are linked to Teamcenter data with named references. These datasets are related with specific relations like specifications, manifestation and others with the objects. And then all this data can be stored in folders. That is what we have seen in Teamcenter folders. Lastly, the bomb view revision represents the product structure. Nothing to worry about this now. We will learn more about bomb view revision in future when we explore bill of materials or creating product structures. So till now, in this session, we have explored item and item revision and how to create, reuse and also we have quickly given an overview of Teamcenter data management concepts. In our next session, we will explore more about the datasets attached to Teamcenter items and item revisions, and also work with the datasets and create various versions of datasets. So don't forget to watch our next session. Till then, goodbye and see you soon.